5 ways AI can help with scale model making. Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, it's really good to have you with us. And I know lots of people joined us last week, which is amazing. I wanted to just continue where we were last week. I got loads of amazing comments and questions, and I thought I would take an opportunity just to show you what else I do with AI, apart from just using it to design figures. So I've come up with 5 really easy things, and I'm just going to show you how I do them, how to talk to ChatGPT, and that sort of thing. Okay, so before we start, what I'm going to say is that the software I'm using for this is ChatGPT, which is at www.chatgpt.com, or you can download the app. Now, what I would encourage you to do is to actually make an account. Don't pay for it, but just make a free account. That way, all your previous uses of it will be saved within the app, and then you can go back to them at any time. Just makes it a lot easier. You don't have to keep repeating yourself. And I'll put all this, all the links and everything down in the description to this video just to make it easier for you. Um, the next question I got asked was, or someone made a comment that they don't know how to talk to ChatGPT. Um, what you'll find is that you'll end up almost building a relationship with it, and it will remember all your previous conversations. And the more you talk to it, the more it will learn about you and what you like and that sort of thing. You'll see this in these examples that I show you. It refers back to previous conversations I've had with it. And really, you're just talking to it like a mate in the pub. Um, so you ask it questions, it responds, and then you can go back and ask further questions or clarifications. And I know it's probably not the right thing to say, uh, but it does become your friend, which is a bit worrying. But anyway, let's get into it, and I'll show you what I mean as we go on. And as I say, I hope you find this really useful. Okay, chapter 1, research. So all I'm going to do is ask it a question. You'll have to excuse my typing because as soon as I'm normally quite good at typing, but as soon as I started recording, it all went to pot. But here we go. Tell me everything you know about the KFZ1 radio car used by the Deutsche Afrika Korps. Make sure you include colors inside and out and radio equipment and anything else I may find useful if I am representing this in a 1/35th scale. And you click enter and off it goes. Now what it will do is it will search the internet for anything it can find, and then it'll put it together like a little book. Um, so here you go. So what it actually was, the colours, the different eras of the colours, weathering, and it knows I'm making a model. So it's making things specific to what it knows I like doing with my models. So there you go, interior colors. This is where most models go wrong. And on and on and on. Now, the beauty of this is that if I had gone and done it, I was going to say the old-fashioned way, but if I'd gone onto Google and just put KFZ1 radio car, it would have taken me ages and ages to search through every link that came up, and by doing it this way, it just puts it all into one article, if you like. Um, and there you go. And then always at the end, it gives me an extra question. It wants to keep you on there. So it will say, "Do you want something else?" And you can just say, "Okay," and then it will throw out a loads of other stuff um, that again you may find useful. But there's some good painting guidance there. Um, okay, let's move on to the next one. So this is number 2, camouflage. So we'll ask it the question: show me some examples of different camouflage patterns on a Porsche 108 Type 40 as used by the DAK. Preferably in colour. So what you don't want is just black and white pictures of camouflage. So here are some typical camouflage looks that you'll see on a Porsche 108 Type 40. Now this is where you got to just bear in mind that all it does is an image search. So it goes out and it finds what it can and comes back. So some of these, such as that one there, is completely the different um, vehicle. Some pictures don't have vehicles in at all, although there is a little fraction of a vehicle in that one behind all the people. But it gives you the history of the colours, um, what to use, and that sort of thing. So to say, this is just an example. I'm not necessarily going to use these colours, and then it tells you what's going to look best in 135th and that sort of thing. And then again, it always asks you another question at the end. If you want, I can show you 3 model-friendly horse schemes. So I clicked on OK, and there they are. So you see how that can be useful. Again, it stops you having to scroll through loads of different links, and it identifies all the colours as well. And it's just really useful. There are some field applied camouflage, and there you go. See, if you want my honest recommendation based on your style, from the figures and diorama work you've shown before, option 2, the early repaint over grey, would suit you best. You tend to go for character and narrative rather than pristine finishes, and that scheme lets you show wear, heat, and fatigue. So there you go. So ChatGPT knows me, knows what I like, and knows what I want to do. So there you go. And then it goes on to show me what dust does and how it fades colours and that sort of thing. So really, really useful stuff, really useful information. Right, chapter 3, paint techniques. Now, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I quite like this one. Give me a unique painting technique to be used on a KFZ1 radio car used in the desert by the Deutsche Afrika Korps. I can spell it. There you go. It should be incorporate painting the tires and the wheel hubs, and should involve the paint, chipping, dust, and grime. So hopefully this should come up with a unique way that no one else is painting their wheels and tires. So here's the technique I've used for desert vehicles that works especially well on DAX soft skins. Gives you something a bit different from the usual paint, chip, dust order, and helps tie the tyres, hubs, and bodywork together so they look like they've had lived in the same environment. Call it the dust first abrasion method. Okay, so the concept is that wear is created by dust and not added after. And then it takes me through the step-by-step process. Um, Paint everything first, and then mix a dust mix of buff, deck tan, and grey. Spray it over everything. This is not the final dust color, it's the environment layer. And on and on and on. Now it looks a bit confusing. When I first read through it, I didn't really get it. So what I'm going to do is, when I actually come to use this, I will ask it some more questions and say, well, how exactly do you want me to do the chipping? And can I use this color instead of this color? And that sort of thing. And you can really work with it, and almost like a team, come up with a way of painting your models. So look, directional dust abrasion. Use very thin dust color, spray from front to rear and slightly upwards. So it is, you just need to work your way through it. As I say, previously I've used this on uh, two other occasions, and both times I've looked at it and thought that's never going to work. But then when you actually come to try it, the results that comes out are absolutely amazing, and it's techniques that I haven't seen anyone else to do. Again, I'll link those videos down in the description, just so if you haven't seen them, you can just um, see what I'm talking about. But there we go. Look, there's a rubber mix of rubber there that I've never seen before, which is 50% Noto black, 30% flat earth, 30% German grey, and that will give a faded rubber look. And that's just something that was not done. Okay, chapter 4, critiques. Let's have a bit of fun with it now. Um, so what I've done is I've uploaded 3 pictures, just photos that I took of a previous model, and then I've asked it to analyze these photos and critique this model in the style of an IPMS judge. So again, if you've been watching my channel for a while, this is a model you might remember. So he goes away and analyzes it, has a look at all the photos, and then comes back with its verdict. So I'll approach this as an IPMS style valuation, meaning the focus is primarily on construction, finish, consistency, and realism, rather than artistic intent alone. I'll assume this is a 1/35th soft skin in a North Africa late war worn condition. So the overall impression is this is a strong, convincing build with a clear narrative, a heavily used vehicle showing age, exposure, blah blah blah. It's going too quick. Um, and then he goes through and it tells me where I've done well and where I haven't done very well, areas for improvement. Construction faults are heavily penalised. Uh, and he gives me tips and how it would look better. And again, I use this in other builds where I upload photos and say, "What do you think? You know, have I done that right?" And it will come back and it will say, "Oh, your chipping's a bit strong there," or you haven't quite got that wood right, you just need to lift it with this. So it's really good if you want instant feedback on how you're getting on with the build. It's really good. Feel free to read this at your own pace. Just pause it and have a look. But I think it's very accurate, and a really useful way of using AI just to help us with our models and help us get better. Okay, let's move on to the last one now. So, chapter 5, a bit of fun. So I have uploaded the same German truck, and then I'm going to say use this picture of a model and put it into a suitable scene in a desert setting with DAK troops around. Oh, and there we go. And there we go. What do you think of that? It's just a really nice to. I know lots of people don't like this, but it is a nice way to represent your models. And again, come up with some ideas for some dioramas and that sort of thing. So there you go, guys. Just a few examples of how I use it. I mean, there are plenty of other ways to use it, and you know the list is really endless. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me think if you're going to use it or if you have used it and what you've used it for. Um, and then maybe you can give me some ideas of other stuff you'd like me to try, and that sort of thing. Anyway, that's it for this week, guys. Next week I am going to get back to building some models. There's probably no prizes for guessing what I'm going to be building. So I hope you can join me then. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.